iRacing 2022 Season 4 is here, and there's a lot in this thing. So, the green flag is waving for 2022 Season 4. This season includes the release of iRacing's first fully electric race car, the Porsche Mission R, a pair of new European road courses, Motorsport Arena Oschersleben. Now, don't give me crap for how I'm pronouncing that. I did have a semester of German. It was a very, very long time ago, and I know I'm butchering it, so just bear with me. And Rudskogen, I probably did that one completely wrong too. Motor Center, and a new dirt oval, Lucas Oil Speedway. We've got the rescan of the Indy Motor Speedway now, so we have the oval along with the road course. And they've rebuilt all of the artwork for both the Arca Menard Chevy Impala and the Lotus 79 from scratch. A host of quality upgrades have also been completed, including a substantial change to the new damage model, so that now damage builds up in areas on your car with repeated strikes, which could eventually cause breakage. A rewrite and significant upgrade to the low frequency effects audio system, and the addition of driving aid pit lines for all road courses. For the iRacing UI, the veteran favorite race guide is now available, as well as custom car classes for AI, and a few new guided tours. With our seasonal AI update, we've gone back to our Grand Prix Legends roots with the release of the Lotus 49, along with the much anticipated release of the NASCAR Cup Series next-gen cars, and 18 other new pieces of content. Buckle up and drive full throttle into iRacing 2022 Season 4. And here they have the highlights, which I think maybe the longest highlight list we've seen so far. So I won't go through it all because we're going to be covering all this. Yeah, there's a lot. A whole lot. So, finally getting started under the iRacing UI for General. Redundant create a race and test drive buttons have been removed from several pages, including series list, up next, hosted races, and time attack competitions. Profile. Members' profile fields will now be subject to inappropriate potato language filtering. Tracks fixed a few inconsistencies with the display order of some track configurations and drop-down menus. For the race guide that our veteran drivers have come to know and love on the Classic member site makes its triumphant debut in the iRacing UI. Find all your favorite functionality for browsing and joining upcoming events in a calendar-like format. AI Racing custom car classes are now available. For time attack, fixed a warning issue with multi-car time attacks that were claiming to be multi-class time attacks. Leagues. The League Sessions table now sorts future League Sessions by date correctly. Under Results, fixed an issue in recent results where the bottoms of the car and track text was being clipped. For replays now load slightly faster. That's good for me. Paint Shop. Some new sponsors have been added. CarQuest, Garage XYZ, and Moser Racing. Fixed an issue where the show stamps toggle in the Paint Shop did not toggle off. For guided tours, 3 new guided tours have been added to the iRacing UI. These include time attack competition info, up next, and hosted races. Under the simulation for Windows support, this season will be the last release of iRacing to officially support Windows 8.1. Microsoft is deprecating support for the Windows 8.1 operating system in January of 2023. For the companion app, with the start of this season, iSchedule is being deprecated. There are no upcoming updates for iSchedule. Both login and register for iSchedule is currently disabled, and as of September 28th, 2022, the iSchedule app will no longer be available. So, you can go, there's links there, download the iRacing Companion app directly. So, switching apps, go switch your apps if you're an app person. Documents. Several of iRacing's official legal documents have received a visual facelift and improved formatting. Under Teams, fix an issue that could cause a team to fail to be disqualified in a team racing session with the drive fair share all declared drivers must drive option selected. This issue prevented the rule from being evenly applied if the session specified a minimum of 1 driver. For race control, fix an issue where joining a race session late could put the driver a lap down. In lone qualifying, any lap crossing no longer counts if the car is coming out of a pit lane which is positioned just before the start-finish line. For qualification scrutiny, the qualification scrutiny system has been updated to no longer trigger a full disqualification from qualifying on the second offense and is no longer a 2-part system. Instead, when the officiants notice an offense, a furled black flag is immediately given and laps are no longer scored until the driver resets the car. Drive clean. Engine. The auto pit speed limiter will no longer be used during gridding or parade laps, and cars need to be able to get out of pit lane cars need to be able to get out of the pit lane at any speed during their parade laps. All right, under AI, you see all this. AI drivers have passed the licensing requirements and cockpit testing for racing with all the following cars. And then he goes, all the GTE cars, the Lotus 49, the next-gen NASCAR Cup cars. I know a lot of people were waiting for that. All right, AI drivers have passed the classroom and on-track testing for racing at the following additional tracks and configurations: so Most Sport, the Indy Speedway for the Indy Oval, Le Mans, the new Oschersleben, Nürburgring, and it's like every version of Nürburgring, and the new Rudskogen Motor Center. AI drivers are now indicated on black flag displays, so wherever an AI driver's name appears in any black box, it is now preceded by an AI icon. AI vehicles now have more accurate tire temperatures. With the traditional and impeccable AI or iRacing AI University out for summer break, our AI drivers enrolled in some highly regarded community-led courses. And yeah, I always like the names. There's a lot, so we'll just go through a couple of them. Relationship goals for cornering gears. The Zen art of serving penalties. Successful hunting tactics for pit stall approach. I like the all caps pedal to the metal full throttle. Fix an issue where AI drivers could sometimes drive through pit lane rather than entering pit stall at the end of lone qualifying session. Fix a rare crash to desktop issue. And then they have improved the AI on these cars. So touring cars, the P217, the Miata, the Indy Pro Mazda, and the Porsche 911 GT3. And then also at the track, Chicagoland Spa for the endurance layout, for Daytona, the Oval, Las Vegas Oval, Martinsville, Richmond, and Talladega. All right, here's one of the big ones, the new damage model. The new damage model algorithm has received an extensive update, where damage from a collision is now calculated based on impact energy instead of raw impulse magnitude. Bending and braking now occur when the energy associated with the impact exceeds the yield and brake limits set in joules. In this manner, prior sustained damage is accumulated and subsequent impact joules are added to the affected car parts. This makes it now possible to cause breakage due to prolonged smaller impacts over time, and previously damage and breakage would only happen when the impulse magnitude was beyond the force limits at the time of impact. This provided a less realistic damage over time experience and led to seemingly brittle behaviors. So all new damage model enabled cars now utilize this energy damage system. As a result of this systemic change, all vehicle brake limits have generally been adjusted down slightly based on recalculations for damage properties. The algorithm for preventing meshes from snagging on uneven ground surfaces has been updated. Track edge calculations are more precise. Fix an issue with hinged mounts and tether forces. Fix an issue where spring dampers could sometimes receive damage while in the garage. Fix an issue where cars could sometimes rise up in their suspension when initially dropped into the world. I've seen that happen a lot. Fix an issue where wheels could suffer damage if hyperextension limits were reached while in the pits or entering the world. Spotter. The spotter has improved his English skills after auditing an iRAI University class and no longer pluralizes the phrase "one laps to green." Graphics. The number of possible dynamic and fixed cube map updates has been reduced. Don't tell Cody. For virtual reality, fix an OpenXR issue where the view could flip upside down when tracking is lost. Fix a crashing issue with OpenXR that could occur if the sim loaded without the HMD ever being successfully tracked at all. Fix an OpenXR issue where the 3D view could freeze during loading whenever motion projection is enabled via the WMR runtime. Visual effects. All car windshield reflections have been updated. Grass and debris kick up clouds linger slightly longer. That's good. And all particle effects in the simulator have had some underlying code updated. One suggestion I would like to make, so kicking up debris and all that stuff, that adds to the immersion, but I would like to hear more of like rocks, gravel, rubber hitting the bottom of the car as you're driving. Those little tink, 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 tink you hear, or crap rattling around in the cockpit. I think just more ambient little sounds. That would add a lot. Okay, a lot going on in audio. The low frequency effects bass shaker system has had an extensive rewrite. These updates include LFE effects are no longer influenced by the simulator master volume. They now only rely on their own separate LFE master volume to control their force level. The signal path has been cleaned up to eliminate clipping, as well as to remove a compressor that was adding distortion. This will cause a change in the signal balance for all effects. You will need to remix them if you've made changes. New LFE effects have been added for a variety of sounds, including starter, engine blowout, rocks, backfires, a new pit speed limiter effect, as well as road noise. Well, maybe they have changed some of the things that I don't know, like rocks and stuff. I don't know. I just want more little sounds. Maybe that'll help. New LFE effects have been added for a variety of sounds. Oh, I just read that. Sorry. Some amplifiers have a limiter on the input signal that causes distortion for the LFE effects. A new LFE option to add a negative 10 dB cut is now available that reduces the input signal below the amp cutoff. If you're using a butt kicker brand amp or feel that some effects are being lost, then enable this in the LFE options. For the LFE system, the ability to select channels has been removed from LFE in an effort to simplify the configuration. By default, all LFE will play on the stereo front channels if you're assigned a sound card, and for almost all users, this is the correct way to configure things. So if you need to access the channel mappings, you can do it there. Bass shaker display LFE channels equals 1 in the app INI file. A new high-pass filter is now available for use with all LFE bass shaker effects. It's disabled by default with the value -1, but it may be used to help tame shakers that have an overly strong resonant frequency. So there you go. If you want to change it, it's in the app INI. For even more detailed information, okay, never mind. And retune the balance of pager motor vibration for pedals and game controllers. For user interface, the brake and throttle meters now correctly show brake and traction aid effects. The mouse over tooltip for the force feedback strength slider has been improved. For driving aids, pit entry and exit blue driving aid lines have been added to all road courses, and a blue cone has been added if one was missing. For controls, for the controls mapping section of the option screen, whenever you hold a control from your keyboard, wheel, mouse, or other device, if that key is already bound, it will now blink, so you can easily see what controls are mapped. Fix an issue that disabled the ignition switch when the text chat window was opened. You may now use an on-off toggle switch on the ignition without issue. Fix an issue that prevented controls from working when the garage or options screens were open. You can now map a button to recenter your VR display or to take screenshots when in the garage or options dialog. This only works with a joystick button inputs for the time being. A keyboard input will not work yet. And fix an issue that was causing wheels with shift indicators to blink when you exit your car when the pit speed limiter is active. For spotter, additional spotter messages have been added to the Spanish language pack. Thank you. I'll try it. Ari Sejas. I don't know if I got that right. Telemetry. A new telemetry value, MemSoft page fault sec, has been added, which goes along with existing mempage fault sec to complete the data found in the P meter. New telemetry string, driver Carl's electric, has been added for the player car YAML string, and cars is electric for each car. The value units for fuel level live telemetry is now changed to kilowatt hours if the car is electric. Fix an issue where status meter telemetry was outputting all zeros. On to the cars. For GT1, for the new damage model, vehicle damage parameters have been updated based on the new energy damage system calculations. This is going to be under every car that has a new damage model, so just like how we don't talk about if a car had setups updated, I'll say it once for this car so you know the line, and then just know that for every car that has the damage model, the same thing applies. There. For GT3 car class balance has been improved, driving parameters have been updated, tire wear rate has been rebalanced, caster adjustment range has been reduced, pit stop tire change duration has been reduced, iRacing setups have been They got me. For GT4, for the new damage model, fix an issue where detached parts could snap back into place. For GTE, yeah, iRacing, AI racing, not iRacing. This is for all GTE cars now. All right, for the 1987 Cup cars, tire compound parameters are updated. Vehicle parameters have been updated to coincide with the latest tire updates. Suspension compliance updated. And for the new damage model, fixed the large imbalance in yield limits for the roof of the Ford and Buick. All right, for the next gen Cup cars, wall proximity effects have been adjusted. And of course, they have AI now. For touring cars, car class balance has been improved. Aerodynamic models have been updated with brand new real world information. Tire compound parameters have been updated. For the new damage model, rebalance the damage parameters for all car body panels across the class. Mirror portal resolution has been increased to better match that of other cars. All right, for the Impala artwork overhaul, the Arkham Menards? What? The Arkham Menards Chevrolet Impala has received a bumper-to-bumper internal and external artwork overhaul, including brand new models, textures, paint patterns, pit team gear, shadows, damage morphs, visual effects, and shaders. The audio profile has been rebuilt to boot, looking and sounding sharp. So the number of paint patterns has been adjusted. The custom car paint template has been updated. For the new damage model, fixed an issue where the front wheels would easily penetrate the front fenders when broken. Seen that happen a lot. For the Audi RS3 LMS, patched a small hole that can be seen in the cockpit view. For the BMW M4 GT3, suspension spring rate has been increased. For the Dallara F3, for the new damage model, fixed an issue where some rear wing car parts were using incorrect pivots when viewed from a distance. For the Dallara IR18, for the new damage model, the floor, engine, and diffuser collision shapes have been adjusted to help prevent abrupt ground snagging. Dallara P217 headlight flares now move properly with the headlights after they have taken damage. Backfire sounds have been improved. Updated a tooltip for rear ARB adjustments. For the Dirt Sprint car, looks like this is the same for the Dirt Sprint car. Okay, the tire, let's just go through it. The tire sidewall friction and restitution have been increased to make wall contact more punishing and wall riding less advantageous. And that's the same for also the Dirt Sprint non-wing cars and the Dirt Street stock. For the Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo 2020, peak brake pedal force has been reduced. For the Ford GT2 and GT3, Ford GT, GT2 and GT3, fixed an issue where the GT2 diffuser could appear on this vehicle. Car paint template decal layer has been updated. Formula Renault 2.0. No, we don't need that. Okay. For the global Mazda MX-5 Cup, tire parameters have been updated. Some audio crackles have been removed from some in-car sounds. For the Hyundai Elantra NTC and the Hyundai Veloster NTC, the brake pedal motion ratio has been reduced to improve brake modulation. For the Indy Pro 2000 PM18, fixed an issue where the end plates appeared mirrored at longer camera distances. For the Lotus 49 has AI. Lotus 79 artwork overhaul. The Lotus 79 has received a bumper-to-bumper internal and external artwork overhaul, including brand new models, textures, paint patterns, pit team gear, shadows, damage morphs, visual effects, and shaders. Looking sharp. Custom paint card template is updated. For the McLaren MP4-12C GT3, suspension spring rate has been increased. For the Mercedes F1 car, fixed an issue where the rear ARB was not reloading correctly. For Mercedes AMG GT3 2020, screenshots have been updated. Same for the Mercedes AMG GT4. For the Porsche Cayman GT4, engine base frequencies have been improved. For the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup 992, tire parameters are updated. Aerodynamic model has been updated based on real-world data. Drafting power has been reduced. Brake pad authority and temperature sensitivity have been updated slightly. Dampers and ARBs have been updated based on the Porsche technical manual. Rear ride height limits have been updated. Shift lamp RPM range has been adjusted. Fixed an issue where the headlight lenses will not morph when damaged. And, yep. Right, Porsche 911 R GT3 downforce has been increased slightly. Suspension spring rate range has been reduced. All right, Porsche Mission R, the new car. The Porsche Mission R, iRacing's first fully electric road car, is now available for purchase. One of the automotive industry's premier brands steps into the future with the Porsche Mission R, Porsche's first all-electric GT racing car and the first ever electric car to come to iRacing. Designed to match the established Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car in terms of performance, the Mission R is a preview of the future of what the future of customer motorsports will look like as the racing industry continues to evolve with the embrace of electrification efforts. Generating more than 800 kilowatts of power from its dual electric motors, the car accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, or 0 to 60 miles per hour, in under 2.5 seconds. Its fast charging capabilities allow the car to recharge up to 75% of its battery life in just 15 minutes between races. And in perhaps its most relevant innovation of all to the sim racing world, the Mission R's self-contained monocoque type driver cell can be used outside of the car as a simulator, giving drivers an opportunity to test in the virtual world in the same environment they'll utilize on the real one. And it does have the new damage model. Alright, Radical SR10, a new special edition fixed paint pattern has been added to this car in celebration of the 25th anniversary for Radical sports cars. For the new damage model, properties for the nose and rear engine cover have been updated to prevent excessive bouncing when detached. For the SSCA Spec Racer 4, nope, never mind, that's the new damage model thing. Helps if you read ahead a little bit. Alright, stock car, Pro Series Chevrolet Cruze. Fix an issue with the appearance of the brake lights at certain camera distances. Alright, USF 2000. Differential locking via spider gear friction has been added. And fix an error with the tooltip for the rear flap angle adjustment range. For the legacy Porsche 911 GT3 Cup 991, fix an issue with the display of the wing supports at distant camera angles. And finally, on to tracks for the Atlanta Motor Speedway. For the oval, some missing lights have been added. For Auto Club, fix an issue with this track being at the incorrect simulated altitude. For Barber Motorsports Park, fixed a pit road exploit where a portion of the pit road surface was considered a racing surface. Fix an issue where some cars could appear to float above the track or sink into the track in certain areas. For Most Sport, AI Racing is now available and patched a hole in the pit wall. For Le Mans, for all layouts, AI Racing is available. A track rules tab has been added for these track configs, and track limits have been updated and smoothed the bump on the exit of the second chicane. For Spa, fix an issue where a phantom yellow flag could trigger in turn 11. For Daytona, the directory and file structure of Daytona has been adjusted. The 08 Rallycross configs are now in a Daytona root directory and remain part of the iRacing based content. The 08 non-Rallycross configs are now in a Daytona subdirectory along with all of the 2011 configs. Track configs have been renamed and reordered in selection dropdowns, and a variety of ground texture themes have been patched. For Daytona Rallycross, this track has been renamed from Legacy Daytona International Speedway. This track includes the long and short track configurations, and for the long configuration, a curve and slowdown penalty has been added to prevent course cutting over the grass in the S section. For Fuji, fix an issue with the graphical flickering on some pit building windows at long camera distances. For Hockenheim, a large variety of track, curb, rumble strip, and terrain surface textures have been updated. Some visiting cars have been exhumed. For Hungaroring, cube map position has been updated. Alright, Indianapolis, new track configuration. We have the new rescan of the Indy Oval. The pre-existing IndyCar Oval track configuration has been appended with 2009 to reflect its laser scan date. And there you go. Of course, they have a link, so you can just go buy it. AI Racing is now available at the Indy Oval. And then for the road course version, fix an issue that could cause the leader to receive a black flag for passing the pace car on the initial race start. And animations for Barney Legendary Flagman have been updated. Flagman booths have been updated. For Kentucky, minor bug fixes. For Lucas Oil Raceway, the track's name has been appended with IRP for easier recognition and to match the track file structure. Lucas Oil Speedway, new track. A new dirt oval Lucas Oil Speedway is now available for purchase in iRacing. Wheatland, Missouri's Lucas Oil Speedway is a motorsport playground unlike almost any other in America. From drag boats to off-road racing, the complex has it all. But none of that would have been possible without the opening of Wheatland Raceway as a 3/8 mile dirt oval located in a former agricultural field in 2001. 3 years later, Lucas Oil purchased the facility and rebuilt it, renovating both the track and its surrounding amenities to become one of the premier facilities in the country. Known as the Diamond of Racetracks, the centerpiece clay surface dirt oval remains unchanged in length from its original opening. With VIP luxury suites and a giant HD screen on site, fans attending the races at Lucas Oil Speedway are treated to an on-site experience unlike most other dirt tracks in the nation, hosting both national and weekly local events. Only the best sprint car late model, midget, and modified talent in the country is able to say they've taken the checkered flag in Wheatland. Alright, Mount Panorama. Pit entry and pit exit checkpoints have been updated. Alright, Motorsport Arena, Oschersleben. Sorry again. Germany's Motorsport Arena, that one, became the 4th permanent racing facility to open in Germany when its doors first opened in 1997. A longtime host of FIA GT, DTM, and international touring car events, it will welcome the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series for the first time in 2023 and currently serves as the host of the FIM Sidecar World Championship for motorcycles. The Grand Prix layout clocks in at 2.297 miles or 3.696 kilometers and gets going with a lengthy front stretch before a hard left turn leads into the sweeping right-hand hotel corner. The hard braking before turn 1 can often cause incidents between drivers at the start of races, so extra care is required to get the best start possible. A Grand Prix layout replaces the abrupt left-hander with a less harsh version designed to keep two-wheel racers safe. So there's 4 configurations: Grand Prix, Alternate, B Course, and C Course, and it has AI. For Myrtle Beach, fix an issue with the wall texture. For North Wilkesboro, minor bug fixes. For the Nürburgring combined, it now gets AI racing. So now AI is at every Nürburgring combined track configuration. And for the Grand Prix version of the Nürburgring, it now also has AI for the BES and WEC track configuration. For Phillip Island, pit entry and exit checkpoints have been updated. Phoenix, catch fence textures have been updated. Port Royal, Barney, Legendary Flagman has been upgraded with improved flag waving animations. Some visiting cars have been exhumed. Alright, Rudskogen, again I'm sorry, Motor Center. For more than 30 years, it has served as Norway's oldest asphalt racetrack. Opened in May 1990, the track sits in an ideal spot for racing. Not only does its forest terrain provide a scenic backdrop and ideal variation in elevation, nearly 140 feet, but the track's southern location also enables it to stay open for driving experiences as long as possible each year. From the Porsche Carrera Cup to Gateville, it's one of Scandinavia's most prominent hosts of professional racing events. After 2 decades in operation, the track received a redesign from world-renowned circuit designer Herman Tilke. Oh no. The resulting 2-mile, 14-turn circuit is in use not only for professional racing and driving events, but also for driver training and track days. It includes Tilke's signature mix of long straightaways and tight technical sections. With an extended fleet of both Porsche and Mercedes GT vehicles, it's an ideal training ground for those looking to gain experience in competitive sports cars of all types. And it's free. And it has iRacing. So I'm AI. I don't know what's going on with me today. Not enough coffee. It now has AI racing. There we go. Alright, Sandown. Pit entry and exit checkpoints have been updated. For Suzuka, fix an issue where some crowds were facing away from the action on track. And some environment objects have been updated. For Motegi, for all versions, pit entry and exit checkpoints have been updated. For Laguna Seca, fix an issue with a flickering sign near turn 11. For Winton, added some missing brake markers and fixed some existing brake markers to align correctly with their distances. For Gateway, this track's name has been appended with Gateway for easier recognition and to match the track of files structure. If you're only listening, it actually said Worldwide Technology Raceway, but I said Gateway to save time. So that sentence, if you were just listening, that probably sounded weird. Anyway, for Legacy Phoenix on the road course, pit entry and exit checkpoints have been updated. And for Legacy Texas, some visiting cars have been exhumed. So there you go. Some new tracks, got a new car. Let me know what you think about everything. I don't know, it may be controversial because I know now we have an electric car. That's really going to make some people angry. So I want to know what you think. And if there's anything like new or already existing, as always, if you want to see like a closer look at something, just let me know. Anyway, hope this helped in some way. Please like, favorite, subscribe, all that stuff. Bye.